Near the corner of 14th Street and 2nd Avenue North, an officer went to check up on a report of a bike theft. The suspect got away from the officer and a pursuit began. Patients have the option of getting either the injectable flu shot or the nasal mist, but medical professionals recommend you get the injectable shot due to its proven effectiveness against stopping the flu. The Red Ball Project has made stops in cities like London, Paris, and Sydney, and now with a week-long stay in the Fargo-Moorhead area, more people have chances to fall right into the fun. Over the next 10 days, Senator Heitkamp will bring prominent Democrats like Senator Tom Udall of New Mexico and former Vice President Joe Biden to the Peace Garden State to speak on her behalf. The boxers love coming to TNT not just because of their bonds with their classmates, but because they develop skills like balance and strength. Engineers have been dealing with these cold temperatures for the last 3 weeks, and once you add snow into the mix like we're having tonight, it makes it harder for them to complete projects. With an overwhelming 71% of the vote, West Fargo Public Schools will get a new middle school, a new high school, as well as artificial turf fields and classroom renovations as part of an $106.9 million bond referendum. If you walk around the new headquarters of Aldeveron, you'll see slight reminders of what introduced Mike Chambers to his lifelong passion.
My grandparents and my parents were commercial beekeepers. I'm from Carrington, North Dakota originally, and beekeeping is really what got me interested in science.
That fascination with science led him to start Aldeveron with classmate John Ballantyne as they were about to graduate from NDSU in 1998.
The company's really been built brick by brick over the course of 20 years, but we've built the organization around really listening to our clients, listening to the industry, understanding what's required, what they need.
Eventually, Aldeveron became one of the biggest players in the biotech community as the 3 approved gene therapy programs all use DNA manufactured by the company. Now with a brand new 70,000 square foot headquarters that is the largest DNA manufacturing facility in the world, Aldeveron has put Fargo at the forefront of genetic innovations.
When we compare ourselves to Boston, the difference in Fargo is we all work together because we want everybody to be successful. And we love it when a company like this starts up and starts growing and gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
The new facility gives Aldeveron the ability to manufacture the same amount of DNA in 1 month that the company churned together in 20 years. The DNA produced at the company could lead to the cures of many different diseases.
A lot of children, for instance, are thankfully alive today because there are new cancer treatments that didn't exist 6, 7, 8 years ago. And to be a small part of that is the highest honor.
Tim Scott, KVRR Local News. When Becky Muse was diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago, doctors told her that without radiation, she would die in a matter of months. But she decided to go her own way to get healthy.
Many people, choose cannabis as their last resort and have had great results. So why would I not choose something as my first source?
After using cannabis to treat her cancer in Colorado, Becky and her husband thought they would be in the clear once medicinal marijuana was legalized in North Dakota 2 years ago.
When we come back, next year, the year later, and it's still not going, we happen to be one of the people that did get in trouble for it, and my husband just got out of prison. But I'm not dead.
Trying to protect the thing that keeps her alive, Muse started Legalized North Dakota to endorse legalizing recreational marijuana throughout the state. As you can see behind me, supporters of Measure 3, who call themselves the Silent Majority, are gathering on street corners in Fargo and 8 other cities across the state to try to get their word across. Measure 3 opponents say if it passed, North Dakota would be the most liberal state for marijuana control in the country.
The wording of the measure being so wide open with no regulations, no revenue stream, no this, no that, smoke it anywhere, no longer illegal to drive while impaired, although the proponents will argue with that. That's the problem. It is the measure.
But supporters say the measure will be beneficial in giving people a fresh start, including Muse's husband.
This isn't about just getting high and acting a fool. Sadly enough, there's those in every crowd. But that's not what this is about. This is about expunging some records, getting some families back together.
Tim Scott, KVRR Local News. Back in February, a fire burst out at the Magellan Partners tank farm in West Fargo. A big help in extinguishing the flames was a drone flown in from Grand Forks.
The people on the ground couldn't see that there was still a fire, but we could see that there was a fire from the angle that we had up in the air. So it gives us a different advantage point.
Since then, Deputy King has been going up to Grand Forks to learn about situations where drones can be beneficial to save lives.
If we can have a quicker response to try to locate, a missing child or somebody with dementia, Alzheimer's, that just kind of take off walking, that helps out the family members, that helps out everybody in general.
Deputy King says the Cass County Sheriff's Office and other law enforcement agencies across the metro should roll out drone technology in the next few months, trying to keep the streets safe from up above.
Well, we see a great advantage. Sometimes you're looking for somebody, you can put a drone up in the air, maybe they're running around the neighborhood, you could find them that way. So we anticipate it'll be a great boon for the city.
Deputy King's plan falls in line with Governor Burgum's vision for the state to be an innovator in drone technology.
There's all kinds of applications for public safety where having eyes in the skies, if you will, can support and help make it safer for our law enforcement on the ground.
As the future takes flight, officials want their ideas to go to new heights. Tim Scott, KVRR Local News. When the small city of Perham was in its infancy, a congregation of worshipers opened the town's first United Methodist Church. Nearly 14 decades and a couple new buildings later, the collective faith of its small band of parishioners still rings through the air. When Betty Jean Robinson first came to the church 50 years ago, some prominent people in town filled the pews.
The congregation of the Methodist Church was made up of teachers, the school superintendent, and so forth. So that way we got to know more people in the community.
After teaching Sunday school at several other parishes in town, Terry Schreier decided to start her own chapter at the church in 1970.
Once we started coming, I kind of had to come because I was a Sunday school teacher and there were 4 kids and I had 2 of them. So I had to be here every week or tell them, and we couldn't had to cancel Sunday school.
But once they entered the doors, they found their home.
It's become our family. So far as our family is concerned, we had no relatives in Minnesota. So our church family became our family.
But that family has gotten smaller and smaller over the years. Currently, the congregation only has 25 members and just 6 kids in the fold.
Where we come up short is we don't go out and show ourselves to everybody in Perham or the surrounding area. We're very quiet in our faith.
But with some masses featuring only rows of pews with hymnals and scriptures, some say active recruitment is the answer.
We need to get more believers coming here, and if they don't have a home church, we just need more people.
3 years ago, parishioners got together to discuss the future of the church, and instead of closing the doors, the parishioners decided to carry their faith forward. One way the parishioners look to make their parish community more engaging is by having all the members take part in church affairs.
After church on Sunday, everybody participates in the council meetings. Everybody has a voice.
Having newcomers instantly feel like they're part of a family is just one way the parishioners are looking to keep their church alive.
We invite you for coffee after church, and we like that so much we sit there quite a while to visit. And if you're new, we hardly let you leave.
As more and more young people skip church on Sundays, parishioners say their message can bring them back through the doors.
In the world right now, the way things are going, people are so negative and divided. I think that can help if we try to help people rather than be divisive.
At the end of the day,
I don't want this church to diminish any further because we need to uphold it, not only for the Lord, but for all those people that went before us.
But as long as they have each other, the flame of their faith in their church will never be extinguished. Tim Scott, KVRR Local News.